If you're thinking wrong, stop, because that's not what is in this video. Welcome back to the Daily Dose. I'm your host, Alize, and this is the Daily Dose where you already know we stay doing the most. If you have not clicked the subscribe button, go ahead and hit the subscribe button because I'm awesome and I'm just amazing, baby. You gonna love me, baby. But yeah, also go ahead and follow me. Instagram is ZaeNAtion, as Z-A-E Nation, baby. Z-A-E Nation. Okay? Yeah. ZaeNAtion. So go ahead. Follow me on that. Also, to follow me on TikTok as ZelumBaby. It's Zelum, Z-E-L-U-M, baby with the Cancer sign. Because I'm a Cancer, already know, baby. What's up? You feel me? But, yeah. Make sure you guys give this video a like. Because I'm finna hit you with some motivation for that ass today. You already know what it is, baby. So let's go ahead and get into this video. Before I really get into this video, before, I do want to let you guys know that I have, for my new subscribers, I do have kyphosis. So, which is a curvature in my spine. It's a hunchback, okay? Please do not call me hunchback from Notre Dame or Notre Dame, whatever it is. Don't call me that. Don't. I find that very disrespectful, very offensive. But even if you did, it don't matter because I'll still be pulling women. No, I'm just, I don't know why I said that, but no, I'll just do it. But seriously, yes, please be respectful in the comments. You know, I ain't all the way there yet, baby. But I don't want to say there yet. I'm manifesting that, you know, my spine is good. But I've seen my spine. I have a curve in my spine. It's been causing me complications and stuff like that. So I have to be very careful. But I do want to also apologize, guys, for not being consistent. I have a hectic schedule. There is no excuses. But I'm going to be more consistent. I'm off work for a certain amount of time for now, so I'm gonna be putting out as much videos as I can. Remember, this is not a manifesting channel, okay? I talk about a lot of manifesting stuff, but I also give y'all some motivation. That's why I decided to talk about this. So let's go ahead and get into this video. We'll talk about that a little later, but I will be posting videos. Hopefully I could show you guys and take y'all through the process of how I live with kyphosis and the things that I go through with kyphosis, because I decided that I want to do that too. All right, but yeah, let's go ahead and get into this video, baby. What's up? You already know the Daily Dose, baby. We stay, you know, doing the most. Chocolate skin, baby. What you trying to be? You already know what it is. It's ZelumBaby, and that's me. Okay, so let's talk about release the old baggage, okay, to allow in new opportunities. Okay, now it could be release the old baggage to flourish. I actually like that one, but you know, it depends on the topic. But releasing old baggage, okay? Now the reason I wanted to put this out here is because I always started out like that, but the reason is behind, look, when you guys are manifesting, okay, when you are progressing, whatever it is, even before I say that, let me tell you something. I wrote down what is love, okay? I also wrote down both my mom and my dad's good traits, and I wrote down their bad traits. And I realized that my dad has a lot of good traits. And you know what? I also realized that I decided to see my dad without judgment. I decided to see that when you hold on to a lot of past emotions and a lot of past things that have happened, you only entice more fear, more anxiety, and you bring yourself more depression, okay? And the reason I say that is because I feel like honestly, I don't want to say that we just pull these mental illnesses out of our asses, but I do feel like we cause ourselves to be more in a depressive state because we have the choice, like Andrew Tate did mention. Don't say anything negative about Andrew Tate on my video, because certain things I do agree with him when it comes to the levels of success and being a better person. So if you don't like him, then don't come on this channel and don't disrespect my platform. That's just what it is. Because I see a lot of people, everyone has their opinions, and you could have your opinion, you're entitled. But I do want to say this because a lot of people have, you know, pointed out a lot of things about him, and you have to look beyond that, because this man, the way he's become so successful, and you know, he's really worked on himself. And I think that a lot of people don't want to do that. Everyone has their own opinions and they're entitled to that. But look beyond that. I look more at, okay, look at what he does with his life, you know? And that's what I did with my dad. Instead of looking at him for the past and who he was, I decided to see him without judgment. And I noticed when I let go of the judgment and saw him, I really said, you know what? My dad has changed in many ways, and he's flourished, and he's, you know, he is where he is today because he changed because of him. Yeah, because of him, basically, because he changed. And I noticed that, you know, if I want people to forgive me or see me without judgment, then I shouldn't judge other people. It's not fair. You know, mirror, reflection. So the reason I decided to say that, this is just a side note of the good traits and the bad traits, was because when I wrote that out and I looked at the good traits, my dad has a lot of good traits. My mom has a few good traits too, but I also noticed that she has majority of negative traits. And like I said, I'm not bashing her. I'm not. But considering the fact that, it's just, I looked at it and I realized that I have a majority of her negative traits, and I have some of my dad's good traits. Now, I'm not saying I want to be like my parents, you know, or I'm not saying, oh, this parent is better than that parent, or that parent is, no. This is just a way for me to figure out the type of traits I have. I wrote down my good traits and my bad traits, right? And I decided to look at myself without judgment. And thank you, Ayanna Vincent. I decided to look at myself and see myself without judgment and say, you know what, I'm not a perfect person. And I know that I have done some things in my past, but I can't allow that to exist in my present. So this is why I tell you this, okay? When you are manifesting, you need to stop portraying the old story, okay? When I put these videos out here and when I go hard, I don't put these videos out here because I'm just putting them out here to put them out here. No, I literally put these videos out here to show you guys that it's okay if you make mistakes. It's okay to not be perfect. It's okay if sometimes you feel like, if you're walking on eggshells with your life, you feel like things might feel difficult, or you feel like sometimes, I can't do this or whatever. We go through all of that. And majority of the things that we've went through in our life is because majority of the things we decide to hold on to is the things that we've went through in our lives. And I was learning in my personal development class, Erik Erikson law teaches us that, if you know, in psychology. That's why Neville talks about looking at the Bible as a psychological drama and breaking it down, because the mind is very powerful. Okay. And I remember that, I remember a lot of people will say this too. They'll say, people who are, millionaires, billionaires, or whatever, you have to fix your mind. Okay. And if you allow yourself to keep, you allow yourself to stay in this stuck point of holding on to this old baggage, and you allow yourself to really, that's why I say, get down all the things out on a paper, write it out, and be honest with yourself. Because even when you're doing shadow work, you have to be honest with yourself. That's why I posted that last video. But in order for you to allow in new opportunities, in order for you to truly flourish and get to that next step, you have to release the old baggage. You have to let go of what was and accept and, bring in or become it is what you want to be right now in the present. I wasn't judging myself when I was looking at these things, because I said, even though there's certain things that I still have to learn about myself and I still have to grow and I'm going on this journey, it's important to just be patient and have that patience within myself as a woman, because now I can actually look at things and see things from a clear standpoint. That's why I said with my dad, he changed in how he is now and where he is in his life. He's at a higher level now, and I'm not saying just only because of his successes, but I'm talking about spiritually, emotionally, and mentally. We all are growing at some point, and we all have to go through certain things in our lives where that takes us, where that helps us to release that old baggage, where it's helping us to, bring in and allow in those new opportunities. Let me tell you something. The only reason people say opportunities come once in a lifetime, I don't believe that. I feel like there's many opportunities, and there could be so many opportunities that we block it out because we're holding on to what no longer serves us. We're holding on to something that no longer even exists, because it doesn't. Yesterday was yesterday. Today is today. All we have is today. All we have is now. So when you're constantly holding on to something, like Neville did mention in the law of in his power of awareness, you have to stop allowing those beliefs, which is the old man. I had to tell myself, and this wasn't even to be hard on myself, but I had to tell myself, shut the up, because I am not those thoughts no more. I will no longer allow myself to exist with those thoughts. I will no longer allow myself to even have any type of relation to that old story, because that old story is no longer existing. When we are constantly condemning ourselves for things that we used to do in our past, we are constantly keeping ourselves at a stuck point. Now, you might look at my videos and say, Alize, you was putting your stuff out here saying this and that. I wasn't trying to be bad on hard on myself. I was just being real and being honest, because when you are not honest, it diminishes your character, and you're living a faulty character. You're living in a fake reality, and you're not being real. See, if we're not real, that's a problem. I have lied all my life. You want to know the old story of me? I was a liar, manipulator, emotionally manipulative. And, you know, there's things that I lacked communication. I didn't listen. But those are things that I looked at, and I looked at those traits, and I decided to say, I separate myself from that, because now I'm going to focus on who I am becoming as of today. I will make those changes as of right now. But see, I'm not afraid to admit that, because now I can actually see myself without judgment. When we decide to put ourselves in this point of holding on to so much baggage, holding on to so much resentment, so much anger, so much pain, all of that stuff only causes more frustration, causes more depression, and puts on a amount of stress that we really just don't need. So if we want to live our lives and we want to actually flourish and do better, we must be willing to release what is no longer existing as of now within this present moment. And Neville did talk about this. Now, I will pull up a quote, but I haven't been reading the way I should have, so I'm going to get back into that. And, you know, on a side note, I will be going into more of Neville and law of assumption, because as I'm telling you this, I am applying this in my everyday life, okay? When you release this old baggage, you feel a weight lifted off of your shoulders. You feel as if though everything feels, you know what, I'm content, I'm at peace. I feel like I've allowed myself to see things in a different way. And I decided to allow myself to see my dad and my mom in a different way. And I saw them without judgment. I'm not, you know, like I really saw them without judgment. Because I'm seeing that what you used to do doesn't matter. Because now what you do now is what matters. What you do now is what counts. But if you have allowed that baggage and you have continued to portray a certain pattern and you're going to keep manifesting the same things that you do not want in your reality. Constructive criticism is not easy. I'm still learning to accept constructive criticism. I am still learning to, you know, I'm learning to listen and actually, you know, let a person speak instead of speaking so damn much. Learning to stop gossiping, stop talking about, you know, because that was the old version of who I was. I identify as a new version. I felt into the feeling, like Neville said, when he saw his wife that he wanted to be with. Neville was talking about how he had slept, like he went to sleep and he slept in the feeling. I slept in the feeling, and I pictured myself as this confident, trusting, ambitious, sexy, successful, beautiful, zestful, charming, endearing woman that had such a beautiful wife, a beautiful home, amazing, you know, like content that was blowing out of the waters. Literally, like I was at a level of like enlightenment and fulfillment. Like I felt like I was sleeping in the wish field. Like I literally was. And I woke up the next morning, which was yesterday, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, because it was the night before. I woke up the next morning and I was like, wow, this is what Neville was talking about, when you just allow and just relax, you know? And when you recognize certain patterns or certain things about yourself and you're honest about that, like I said, going back into one thing that Dylan was talking about, we do not want temporary results. When you start to really change your subconscious beliefs, when you start to fix your mind, feed your mind new things, like for me, example, I lost 17 pounds within 2 months. I lost 17 pounds. I'm very proud of myself. And I'm going to continue to be on my weight loss journey, because now that I've seen, like, damn, I'm losing weight, and I'm looking at myself and seeing myself in a different light and seeing others in a different way. I realized that when you start to change the way you eat, you start to change the way you think, you start to think before you react, you start to see new things in a different way. You don't look at things the way you was looking at things. Like normally I would look at things in a negative way. Now I see things from a different perspective, and I'm just like, you know what, Alize, this is not you, or you know what, Alize, I don't think that's worthy to be upset about. Start to really get more control. And I've been setting healthier boundaries, you feel me? Because I'm actually going to write out my boundaries tonight, about the boundaries that I will have for myself. Like yesterday, I had a salad because I didn't eat all day because I was at the doctor's office, and I had a salad, and I was like, damn, but I wasn't hungry after that, because I'm training myself to not eat after a certain time at night, and to limit certain, like when I drink juice, just whatever small boundaries I'm setting for myself, because I'm doing that for me. But yeah, I saw this new version of her that loves herself and all of that. And I feel like all that ties into releasing old baggage, because when you release old baggage, that means that you're allowing yourself to be happy. You're allowing fulfillment in your life. You're allowing enlightenment. You're allowing, God to really lead you in whatever you believe in. You're allowing yourself to really live in the new reality that you have created for yourself. Mentally, and you're not allowing those things that once bothered you at one point to bother you now. So when you release the old baggage, when you let go of the old man, what Neville's talking about is when you work through it and you just take your time. Because a lot of people say, okay, yeah, you can shift states. Yes, you can. People say they've talked about flipping your thoughts. Guys, if you want to flip your thoughts, flip your thoughts. But if you know that you have to go deep and do some internal healing and work, don't lie to yourself. Don't sit here and lie to yourself. Don't put yourself like, oh, I'm just going to fake it till I make it. Like, I'm not, the only reason I'm saying this is because I don't agree with that. Like, I feel like you just doing that is only saying, okay, I'm going to just do this and say this. I used to be that type of person that used to say, oh, my SP loves me. My SP, knowing I didn't feel that way. I didn't feel loved. I didn't feel none of that. It all comes back to you. I will actually do a video on self-conception too. I will, because I want to go deeper into what Neville was talking about, because I've been listening to a whole lot of Neville Goddard. So, it all comes back to you, and you have the choice. Like when I mentioned earlier about Andrew Tate, we have choices to be who we want to be. So if you know that this is who you used to be, okay, I know that's who I used to be, but that's not who I want to be. Who I want to be is this version that I saw, that I was feeling, and that's the version she felt. Bro, when I tell y'all, she a baddie. You feel me? And I said, this is who I want to be. But then my consciousness said, this is who you already are. Let that saturate real quick. This is who you already are, because you're making the changes, you're making the adjustments, you're taking the time. You know what I'm saying? You're allowing yourself to, you've identified what you need to change, but you've actually went deep. You're doing the work. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I decided to make this video, because I felt like somebody needed to hear this. Release the old baggage and just don't allow what no longer serves you to continue to exist right now, because that's only going to continue to hinder your growth. It's not going to help you. It's not going to benefit you in any way, because you're constantly looking towards the past. The past is not here. People say the past haunts you. BS. It doesn't haunt you unless you choose to and unless you allow it to. I was in a mental hospital because I was too busy over here. I was in a mental hospital for 2 reasons. I wanted to commit suicide because I wanted attention, and because I actually wanted to die. Okay? Yes, those are the 2 reasons. I admit I wanted the attention because I wanted to see who really cares. If I was to really kill myself right now, who would really give a damn about me? I know. But I'm not afraid to admit that. I'm not afraid to get on here and say, you know, I'm not perfect. But at the same time, I know who I am and I know the woman I am becoming. And I'm not saying to focus and dwell. No, you acknowledge it, you see it, and you change it. You release it. Because once you release all of that, you will then start to allow so many beautiful things in your life. So many things will begin to really take off. And it doesn't have to be just your manifestations. It could just simply just be you being more happier, smiling more, enjoying life more, and seeing things in a new way. And if negative comes your way, you like, I ain't even worried because I'm chilling. I'm chilling. I have kyphosis, which they might say, oh, this can happen in the near future. This might happen. I'm not going to allow it to stop me from being a content creator, being an author, writing this amazing, phenomenal book, and going out here and keep going hard. No, it's not going to stop me. And you shouldn't allow it to stop you either. So I hope that made sense, because I know I be all over the place, baby. But I'm going to go ahead and holler at y'all later. I'm going to drop a video later on. So yeah, just, you know, really release that old baggage, and, you know, you will then allow new things to happen, you know, new opportunities and new love experiences and relationships, friendships, and all that will flourish because you've decided to release what no longer is serving you. You've decided to see things in a different way instead of seeing things so negatively. You know what I'm saying? So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Peace.